Welcome to the Autism Hope Summit. I am so excited to have our two guests. We have two guests this time. Woohoo! We never get two guests at the same time, so you guys are in for a real treat. Today we have Justin and Janet Benton, and they're going to be talking about something that we all want to learn about. Let's learn about the miracle plant. So welcome, Justin and Janet. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
You bet.
Before we get started, Justin, can you talk about why you're so passionate about what you do in helping the autism community and why you got started?
Yeah, a little bit about us. About 5 years ago, our son was diagnosed with a severe case on the spectrum of autism. I believe it was around 120 on the ATEC. And, there was a regression and, nonverbal, non-communicative. We were just like, so many parents, obviously when they first get that diagnosis, you're just scrambling all over the internet and you don't know which way to look. And there's obviously, fear and grieving and depression and anxiety. And you're just, reaching out to doctors and researchers. And we came across some of Dr. Meshulam's research in the 1970s that had led to all of the research they had done with children with epilepsy. And so based on that, that was our introduction to CBD. And so we did our research. We came across the Stanley brothers out of Colorado, tried some of their products, tried some other products at dispensaries, didn't really see any results. And so I happened to be a cannabis farmer. I was raised holistically. And so I figured, why not grow some and do a real simple cold press extraction and try and grab all of the 512 plant constituents in this miracle plant. And, lo and behold, we were at an Underwood Farms, which is a little, hay rack ride, pumpkin patch, thing we have out here. And my son was there. He was throwing a big tantrum, hiding under a bench, just miserable while all the other kids are out picking pumpkins and having a blast. I had just made it. I pulled the tincture out of my pocket and then I gave it to him. My wife was there and 10 minutes later, he's out running around picking pumpkins and bouncing around, having a great time. And all the grandparents were there and they were like, "Oh my God, did you see that? And what did you give him?" And I said, "Well, it's this raw CBD oil that we made." And that was the beginning of the journey. So to fast forward 5 years, this last weekend at Columbia University, we were featured in the medical journal of endocannabinoid medicine. And actually, I'll let Janet talk a little bit more about it because she's the one who wrote the article that was published. And she can talk a little bit more about the journal. And it actually is a complete case study of the whole 5 years.
Well, Janet, I'll turn it over to you. I'd love to hear about it.
Thank you. And I'm very excited to share. As Justin mentioned, we're just very passionate about paying it forward and helping other parents. And so I am a developmental and educational psychologist and an integrative nutritionist. And so working with Justin's son, or my grandson, we did some other health things too, juicing and organic diet and things in that nature. But nothing was addressing the really central causes that are more neurological, just the overreaction to any kind of stimuli, a lack of social interaction or desire for it, inability to go out in public. And that's to me where the CBD really helped, because the raw CBDA, it's called, that the plant makes, and you keep the whole plant together. It literally works in the body and is well known to reduce inflammation, but also to help heal nerves and neurogenesis, which is making new nerves, which is just like beyond a miracle to me. And there's plenty of research that shows that. And since autism, to me, it's a very, very neurological condition, I often call it brain damage because basically the nerves are no longer functioning. And as Shay was taking it, literally we could see him remembering things from before, because like many kids with autism, he was a normal bright kid and then he had a regression. And he would remember things from like 18 months old. So you could tell he was remembering, his brain was regenerating. And just huge increase in calmness, in exploring new things and being comfortable socially. And it's just been amazing to see him now attending a regular school, playing basketball with his dad, all those things that you thought you'd lost as a parent with a child with severe autism. And then the case study also, we used an ATEC, which Justin mentioned, and that is the free measure that's at the University of Arizona website. We did repeated measures of that, as well as intelligence tests and observations. And so it was very well documented in terms of the scores he was getting at home with his behavior interventionist and at school. And then over time, his initial scores indicated he would have ended up basically institutionalized or full-time special ed. And so it was a drastic change then to end up now in the latest scores are basically the neurotypical range. And beyond the scores, so to see him actually showing us that. So it's exciting to be at Columbia University to talk about the article to many people. It's being sent to 45,000 doctors across the country. And we're also trying to get it out to parents, and so they can see step by step what was done. And then to me, it goes along with your name of your organization. What we give is hope. And to me, the cannabis plant, the CBDA, the raw plant from the hemp plant is what we focus on. Went beyond giving us hope. It just basically showed that it does work. And that's why we're so excited to share it.
I love that. With so many doctors out there, the very first question they ask is, is it published? Is it published? We need the science behind it. And to be in a medical journal and going in that direction, that's what we need for, honestly, mainstream medicine to kind of catch up, right? So
I was so excited. I got the cover. I got the headline on the cover.
Well, let's see it.
Yes.
I don't know if it will show, but.
Oh, I love it. I can see it kind of to the right. There you go. That is amazing. Congratulations. That's a lot of work. But more importantly, yes, it's great. You're helping hundreds of thousands of families now, but it's, in a selfish way, I'm a mom of a child with autism. I'm more excited that you were able to help your son, to be able to go from a 120 or something you said in ATEC. And for those that are watching, ATEC is Autism Treatment Evaluation Checkoff List. You can go to, I believe it's autism.org or .com. I can't remember exactly, but it's coming from the Autism Research Institute. You can go there. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's about a 10 to 15 minute at the most parent evaluation. They'll give you a score. The higher the score is means more severe on the spectrum. The lower the score is, the more in the neurotypical category they would fit. And some no longer even qualify for the diagnosis. And so to sit there and hear that, as a parent myself of a child, I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Because I remember when I first got our diagnosis, everyone says there's no hope. And for me, and for all those parents watching, guys, I really want you to think about this. If there's one person, I don't care if there's, thousands, I think that's great, but all it takes is one person to be able to go in that ATEC high to low. That means it's possible. And for me as a mom, I can't even tell you, I'm getting tears in my eyes. I just think that's so exciting. So congratulations to that. Justin, how awesome is it that you got a mama that's like helping you along the road as well. I mean, what a great family you guys have here.
Yep. And she's also, I don't know if she mentioned, but 40-year school psychologist.
Wow.
Specializing with special needs. So she got the first phone call.
Mom, I need help, and I need help now.
Oh, I know. And like I often say to people, when I started in the field in the 70s, autism was 1 in 10,000 kids. Mm-hmm. And now, according to statistics, vary a bit now, but from like 1 to 25 to 1 to 45 or whatever. But obviously, it's a massive epidemic, which to me is not being addressed as seriously as it needs to be. And then we also then have hemp suddenly made legal and the raw CBDA from hemp. And to me, the two movements just came together perfectly. And all the research showing how the raw CBD helps basically with nerves and all the basically the problems that autism is caused from. And so to me, it was just so excellent that they came together at the right time and offered that solution. And so we're very excited to talk to any parents or offer any hope that we can. I'm hoping at some point, maybe a little bit of collaboration on some research, but that's just a side effect if parents want to get more involved. But just, I'm always able to answer any question and open to more in-depth of exactly what we did and how we did it.
And to me, again, you brought that word up, hope, and it's hope with actual science behind it, which is hope with a plan is what I love.
Right. Oh, I like that.
So let's talk a little bit about, what is raw CBD? We've all been hearing CBD, it feels like it's the hot kind of thing right now, right? And so I know for me, our son has been taking CBD, probably close to maybe 5 years now. And, you know, back then even it was a little bit scary to try to even find different companies that we could get it from and work with different doctors. Now it's a little bit easier, but still it's very confusing because it feels like everybody's jumping kind of on the bandwagon and having some form of CBD. So it's very confusing, I think, for parents to be able to kind of sort through, you know, what is a high quality, you know, what do I give my child? How do I know what to do? How do I know it's working, kind of thing? And then now to throw in raw CBD, it's like, wait, isn't CBD raw to begin with? But maybe it's not. So can we kind of talk about all that so parents watching could go, ah, I get it finally.
Sure, I can start. You know, as far as, again, so the raw CBD was that's the cold press extraction that we used. I grew a high CBD strain out here in California, and was able to do a real simple, you know, extraction process. And if you go to our blog at 101cbd.org, you'll see all the benefits and the research and the doctors and everything else about raw cannabis. So again, when you know, the plant makes CBDA, right? The plant originally starts out as CBGA.
Oh.
And then from that CBG, the plant either, you know, will usually steer towards CBD, which would be the hemp variety, or that CBG will turn into synthesizing THCA, which would be the high cannabis strain. I don't use the M word because that's just not real science. And so when it goes to the high CBDA strain, and, you know, we've seen plants now, you know, 15, 16, 17% CBDA, that's what the plant produces naturally. And the research that we've seen working with Dr. Raphael Meshulam, who came out to CanMed 2 months ago here in Pasadena, told the world that through his team, who were able to actually do research on CBDA, that it's up to 1,000 times more active and effective in our bodies than decarboxylated CBD. Decarboxylated CBD is a fancy long word for heating up the plant. Well, our relationship in America has always been more on the high THC cannabis. If you ate the high THC cannabis like Cheech and Chong did in the movies, you would not get high and have that acid trip that Tommy Chong did. That's just the movies. That's Hollywood. In fact, it would be very healthy and beneficial for you. The only way for you to get high or that psychoactive experience is to put fire, heat, decarboxylate it. Well, that's great. Well, CBD, as we all know, is non-psychoactive, so there's no point in cooking it. There's no sense in burning off that acidic precursor. Leave it as the plant was intended. And that is the miracle plant. 512 plant constituents, entourage effect by Russo and Meshulam, proving that the terpenoids, so the terpenes that make it smell and taste, all of the flavonoids like canaflavin A has been proven 30 times more powerful than aspirin. Everything that's going on in that plant, we're just starting to get it. So CBD is a fun buzzword, but consume the entire plant. If you can juice it and grow it in your backyard, we have recipes, and we'll teach you how to do that if you live in a state or a country that allows you to do it, or if you just throw caution into the wind. So CBDA is, we say CBD as it was meant to be. The plant is beautiful. It is perfect the way it is. It's been around for millions of years. Our bodies communicate and even create those same molecules, 2-AG, ourselves, which is the same thing as CBD. So our body was obviously set up to communicate, and you know, we're a DNA match for that. So hope that wasn't too long or boring or nerdy, but that's what CBD is.
No, and I have a question. So, you know, I've seen CBDA, I've seen CBDB, and I've seen CBDG. So I now understand that A is the natural state. And then you kind of briefly talked on G, but now I'm a little confused. So what is B and G if A is the natural state?
So G is, again, it's the mother cannabinoid. Okay. So when the plant is a little seedling growing into vegetation stage, it's primarily made in the stalk and the leaves before it turns into flowers. It's CBG. And as the plant grows and turns into the flowering or sometimes the seed stage, that CBG turns into either CBD, a high CBD strain based on the genetics, or a high THC strain. So CBG is just the mother cannabinoid. So now we're starting to grow plants that instead of the CBG turning into CBD or THC, it's staying as CBG.
Okay.
So we have tested, we're growing some plants with high CBG. Again, there's 110, 112, 113 cannabinoids. CBD is the one that's getting all the pub. THC had its day. Now we're going to CBD. Eventually, with Meshulam and Russo's research, they've already told us it's whole plant. It's all the cannabinoids, all the terpenes. And that's in the A state. Yeah, eat the plant. That is the best way to consume it. Just like any other plant or vegetable, keep everything there. You do not need to burn it. You do not need to process it. We've already figured that out. That's what makes the plant the miracle that it is. The doctors are, and the scientists are getting there. They take the long way, and they got to go through all the hoops and the jumps and all the types of different research that they need to do, and that's fine. But we see it in our clients that come to us. We have retail stores that literally come in with a gray face, and then a month later, whether it's an autoimmune disease, they're bouncing in there and there's an aura and a glow about them. And so again, CBDA, CBGA, those are just specific cannabinoids. All the cannabinoids working together like an orchestra. That's the entourage effect. We are at the very beginning of understanding all of the different pieces of this plant. I don't need to know all the pieces of the plant. I know it works. I know it cleared the fog for my son. I'm one of those guys that just flip me the keys and I'll go take it for a test drive. Other people might need to know how the engine's made or works, or carburetors and fuel injection. I don't. For those kinds of people out there, we do have our head of research and development, Janet Benton Gaylord, over here, and she can answer those very specific questions. And she did mention before, we do consult with families affected by autism all over the world for free. Just call us. We'll put together an hour. Some families we've talked to for 10 or 20 hours, just explaining what we went through, our experiences, probiotics, eating healthy, juicing, organic juicing, behavior, therapy, things like that. We're here to share our experiences, learn from each other. And I know that's what Autism Hope Alliance is all about. And that's why we're so honored and love working with you guys and promote you left and right.
Well, we love working with you as well. And one of the things I want to make sure we talk about is that you guys are amazing to the community. So what they do is, if you have a child on the spectrum and you reach out to them, they will give you the first bottle to try to see if it works. And I can't tell you as a parent how many times do we go out and we buy all the stuff and either it works or it doesn't work or whatever. I spend, I don't even want to think about how much money I've spent, right? And what I love about you guys, you're like, no, we want you to try it. You believe in it so much. You're like, hey, if it's going to work, we want you to try it. After that, if you have a family member on the spectrum, and that's what you guys are helping, that's your mission right now, is then it's correct me if I'm wrong, it's 50% off forever, correct?
First bottle for free, and then half off for life.
And so they donate all those bottles to you guys. All you have to do is call them up. And so how do they find you guys?
The simplest way is just go to the website, www.101cbd.org. We have phone numbers too, but just go to the website, Google it, 101CBD, 805-642-5623. But just go to the website, send us an email, info@101cbd.org. And yeah, we'll send you a bottle for free. Shipping's free. We'll just put it in the mail. It's our gift to pay forward. This miraculous plant, miracle plant. We're not trying to hoard it. We'll teach you how to grow it in your backyard. We'll show you how to make your own shakes, protein powders. This plant and us, we are DNA matches. We belong together. There's been studies back to 30,000 years that indigenous people would take this plant. They were out picking, and they noticed that when they were picking the plant, that it helped with inflammation and pain. So everywhere humans have gone, this plant has gone with us. So we belong together. So let's consume the plant the way it was intended and see. We see so many incredible stories of other autoimmune deficiency syndrome and anything you could think of. We've heard incredible stories with people, eating right, high alkaline diet, plant-based, lots of water, and eating, CBD and the cannabis plant, this miraculous plant. And, it's unbelievable. We get blown away almost every day. But certainly every week with the story we just can't believe. And so we put it on our YouTube channel so people can see it, because it's like, you have to see it for yourself.
Well, it definitely is a miracle plant. And I want to thank you and Janet for being here today, talking about it. And, most importantly, congratulations to your own story. And even more, thank you so much for paying it forward, because what you're doing is just huge. So thank you both for being here today.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us. And we love your organization. Anything we can do to support And anything we can do to help anybody out there, give us a call. This is a purpose-driven organization, and our mission is what we say is we're here to heal the world. So we can do whatever we can do to help. We're here to help.
And again, guys, as we talked earlier, if it can happen for one, just one, that's all we look for is one. And we know it's happened for way more than just one, that it's possible. And again, as we talked earlier, hope with the plan. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time. Bye, guys.